Welcome to AI World Channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Topic today is Parker Brothers, the famous game company. Parker Brothers was founded by George Swinnerton Parker, a young man who loved games and believed that they should be played for fun and not for moral instruction. He was born in 1867 in Salem, Massachusetts, and grew up in a family of entrepreneurs. His father, Charles, was a successful manufacturer of hardware, tools, and machinery. His grandfather, John, was a prominent merchant and politician. George showed an interest in games from an early age and invented his first game, banking, when he was 16 years old. Banking was a game of chance and skill where players borrowed money from the bank and tried to increase their wealth by guessing the outcomes of various events. George tried to sell his game to Boston publishers, but they rejected it, so he decided to publish it himself. He invested $40 to print 500 sets of banking and sold all but 12 of them, making a profit of $100. Encouraged by his success, George established the George S. Parker Company in 1883 and began to design and produce more games. He was joined by his brother, Charles, in 1888, and the company changed its name to Parker Brothers. Charles was a skilled salesman and marketer, and helped to expand the business and reach new customers. The third brother, Edward, joined the company in 1898 and took charge of the production and distribution. Together, the Parker Brothers created a game empire that lasted for over a century. Parker Brothers was known for its innovative and original games, many of which were based on current events and popular trends. Some of the early games included Klondike, based on the gold rush in Alaska, War in Cuba, based on the Spanish-American War, and Ping Pong, based on the new sport of table tennis. Parker Brothers also published some of the classic games of the 20th century, such as Rook, the best-selling card game of the 1910s, the popular game of luck and strategy, and Clue, the classic murder mystery game. However, the most famous and successful game of Parker Brothers was Monopoly, the game of real estate and capitalism. Monopoly was originally invented by Elizabeth Magie, a progressive activist, who wanted to illustrate the evils of land monopoly and the single tax theory. She patented her game, called The Landlord's Game, in 1904 and published it herself in 1906. The game was played by various groups of reformers, educators, and Quakers, who modified the rules and the board according to their preferences. One of these variants, called Monopoly, was popularized by Charles Darrow, an unemployed salesman who claimed to have invented the game during the Great Depression. He sold the game to Parker Brothers in 1935, after they had initially rejected it for being too complex and having 50 design errors. Parker Brothers realized their mistake and bought the rights to the game, as well as the patents of Magie and other previous inventors. Monopoly became a huge hit, selling over 1 million copies in its first year, and becoming the best-selling board game of all time. Monopoly has been translated into more than 40 languages and has spawned countless spin-offs, editions, and adaptations. Parker Brothers continued to produce new and popular games throughout the decades, such as Risk, the game of world domination, Trivial Pursuit, the game of general knowledge, and Ouija, the game of spirit communication. Parker Brothers also ventured into the field of electronic games, producing some of the first video games for the Atari 2600 console, such as Star Wars, Frogger, and Q*bert. Parker Brothers also made some of the first handheld electronic games, such as Merlin, Simon, and Bop It. Parker Brothers remained a family-owned business until 1968, when it was acquired by General Mills, a food company that wanted to diversify its portfolio. General Mills merged Parker Brothers with its other toy and game subsidiaries, such as Kenner and Milton Bradley, and formed the Kenner-Parker Toys division. In 1987, General Mills spun off its toy and game division as an independent company, which was later acquired by Tonka in 1988. Tonka, in turn, was acquired by Hasbro in 1991, the second largest toy company in the world after Mattel. Hasbro merged Parker Brothers with Milton Bradley and formed the Hasbro Games division. Parker Brothers ceased to exist as a separate entity but its name and logo continued to be used as a brand for some of its games, such as Monopoly, Clue, and Scrabble. In 2009, Hasbro rebranded its games division as Hasbro Gaming and retired the Parker Brothers name and logo. However, the legacy of Parker Brothers lives on in the millions of people who enjoy playing its games.